Welcome to the DFT Lesson 5 article on economics. We will be looking at part 2 of economics today. So we will be exploring on different types of economics such as micro versus macroeconomics, indicators, and elasticity, market structures, and the role of government in economics. So let's start off with micro versus macroeconomics. Microeconomics focuses on the economic behavior of individual consumers, businesses, and markets, analyzing how price changes affect consumer demand for specific products like smartphones or how businesses determine optimal production levels. Applications: microeconomics helps business set pricing strategies, forecast market trends, and optimize resource allocations. Macroeconomics studies the economy as a whole, focusing on factors like GDP growth, inflation rates, unemployment levels, and government policies. Assessing the impact of fiscal policies on national economic growth or evaluating the effectiveness of central bank measures to control inflation. The significance is that it guides government decision making to stabilize economies, promoting sustainable growth and addressing socio-economic challenges. Next, we'll be looking at economic indicators. We'll be talking about the different types of them. So, the definition of economic indicators are that they're statistical data used to assess the overall health and the performance of an economy. The first type is leading indicators. Predict future economic trends based on current data, such as changes in consumer confidence or business investment. For example, a rise in housing starts often precedes increased economic activity as it signals consumer demand and construction industry growth. Lagging indicators. They confirm past economic trends, reflecting changes that have already occurred, such as unemployment rates or corporate profits. For example, rising unemployment rates typically lag behind economic downturns as businesses react to reduced consumer spending. Coincident indicators. They provide real time snapshots of economic conditions, including indicators like GDP growth rates or retail sales figure. For example, quarterly GDP reports offers insights into ongoing economic expansion or contraction based on production and consumption trends. Now we will be looking at elasticity. Elasticity measures the responsiveness of supply or demand to change in price, income, or related products. For example, price elasticity that determines how sensitive consumer demand is to price changes. Goods with elastic demand, like luxury items, see significant drops in demand when prices rise, while necessities with inelastic demand, like medications, show relatively stable demand patterns. Income elasticity indicates how consumer demands changes with shifts in income levels. Luxury goods typically have high income elasticity, meaning demand increases sharply as income rises, whereas demand for basic necessities like food remains stable regardless of income fluctuations. Now, if there is a good that decreases in demand as people's income rises, we call that an inferior good. These are goods such as if you had a very old car which was on the market for sale, the value of the car would be considered as inferior good because as the people's incomes increase, people can afford more luxurious cars, more better cars, and therefore the supply and eventually the demand of these cars would decrease. So the next thing is cross price elasticity. Cross price elasticity measures the impact of price changes for one product on the demand for another related product. A decrease in the price of butter might increase demand for margarine as consumers switch to a cheaper substitute. Now we'll be looking at market structures. Perfect competition is where many small firms producing identical products with no control over market price. Example, agricultural markets often exhibit perfect competition with numerous farmers selling similar crops at prevailing market prices. The impact is it encourages efficiency and consumer choice through competitive pricing and product differentiation. Monopoly. Single seller dominates the market, controls prices and supply. Utility companies often operate as monopolies due to high barriers to entry and exclusive government licenses. Implications are that it limits consumer choices and can lead to higher prices and reduced innovation without regulatory oversight. Oligopoly. It's a small number of large firms that dominate the market, often colluding on pricing and market strategies. For example, the automobile industry features a handful of major manufacturers that collectively influence prices and industry standards. Limited competition can hinder innovation and consumer welfare, necessitating antitrust regulations. Monopolistic competition. Many firms offering differentiated products with some control over pricing. For example, fast food chains differentiate through branding, menu variety, and regional preferences while still competing on price and quality. Outcomes are that it promotes product diversity and consumer choice, but may lead to less efficient resource allocation compared to perfect competition. Now we'll be looking at the final thing, which is the role of government in economics. Governments play a crucial role in regulating markets, ensuring fair competition and providing public goods and services. Governments enforce laws to prevent monopolistic practices, protect consumer rights, and promote fair trade. Antitrust laws in the United States aim to prevent companies from dominating markets and stifling competition. Now, here are the two main policies that governments would introduce within the market to regulate: fiscal policy and monetary policies. Fiscal policies involves the government spending and taxation to influence economic activity and stabilize the economy. During economic downturns, governments may increase spending on infrastructure projects to stimulate demand and create jobs. So, fiscal policies will include the government spending wherever they can to regulate the economy and stabilize them. Monetary policies are where central banks control the money supply and interest rates to manage inflation, employment, and economic growth. The Federal Reserve in the United States adjusts interest rates to encourage borrowing and investment during economic slowdowns, thereby boosting economic activity. So, this is it for economics within these two videos. Hopefully, you had fun and you learned something new that you did not know before. Have a great day. Thank you.